So my name's Ash. At ROM, they know me as Jimmy as well. I live over in Melbourne, and I'm one of the range of motion nutrition coaches. So over this webinar series and blog, we're going to speak about the 8 spokes that we have that help us determine good health and well-being. So then the way that, hey Ben, how are we going? Just starting off there, mate. I'm going to pop you on mute and we'll keep on going. So crew, let me spotlight me back here to here. So crew, yes, so the range of motion nutrition coaching focuses on behavioural strategies and really working with our environment to help us achieve good health and help us maintain good health. I'm just going to, just give me 1 sec here, team. Just lost Hayden in the mix there. Sorry guys, I'm just flicking over to my notes screen. Here we go. So crew, so what today we're going to talk about in our webinar is barriers and facilitators. Okay, so a barrier and facilitators describe the things that help us move towards or away from a goal or behavior or a target action. So if you can think of like a bike path on a bike path on a road. So by having a bike path that helps facilitate transport, cycling and exercises cycling, whereas if it's a congested road and you don't have a bike path, people will find that it's a barrier to cycling, and exercise reduces and transport reduces in the mode of cycling. So it's important that we can identify these things in our environment that drive us towards good health and kind of turn them up and try to limit the barriers that help us with good health. So for you guys this last week, just give me a show of hands if you've experienced daytime tiredness as a result of bad sleep. Yeah, so that's good. I would say for me as well. So 50% of adult Aussies say that they experience some type of daytime tiredness as a result of poor sleep. And it's for 1 in 5 adolescents suffer from this as well. Sleep disturbances are common in athletes as well throughout all training phases, and this has impacts on explosiveness and muscular strength and fatigue. For Aussie business, it cost Australian business to 12 billion due to productivity losses in 2016. So we can tell that it's something that's important to us, and a lot of Aussies experience this. So then when we're thinking about our sleep environment, we want to consider the things that influence how fast we can get to sleep, which is called sleep latency, and the quality of our sleep. So the environmental cues such as temperature, light, sound, regulate our biological clock, and they help facilitate sleep. So if you can think about your sleep environment, think about your bedroom. At night when you open your eyes, is it completely dark? If not, they're the things that we want to try and make their room darker. And some people will find that they struggle sleeping when it's too warm in their bedroom. Okay, so we want the bedroom cool, quiet, and dark. And we can achieve that by, for example, use of earplugs to make it quieter, eye masks, the use of blackout curtains, and air conditioning of fan to help cool the room. Do any of you guys use any of those things to help you sleep? Fiona, do you use any of those?
My room's reasonably dark anyway.
Yeah, great.
So, yeah, but I never used earplugs or anything.
Yeah, Yeah. So that's one thing to consider, is using earplugs if your room is loud, or like, if you live near a busy street. So then we want to be able to work with our biological clock. Okay. So our biological clock, or our circadian rhythm, regulates our wakefulness, alertness, and sleepiness over a 24-hour cycle by responding to those cues in our environment. So further to those cues, we can direct our circadian rhythm by having consistent bedtimes and wake-up times. Now, you can change your bed and wake-up time by adding or subtracting 15 minutes to either side of that until you achieve optimal daytime awakeness or wakeness. Okay. However, for certain people like shift workers or night workers or people who are caregiving at night, a consistent sleep schedule is obviously not feasible, right? So the recommendation is then that we catch up using naps and make sure that the other factors that promote sleep or degrade sleep are controlled as well. Okay. Okay, next one. Let's think about, so this, I've brought this here, alcohol before bed. Alcohol is often thought as a calmative and reported to relieve tension and help someone get to sleep. And while alcohol can facilitate us getting off to sleep, so sleep latency, it damages restorative sleep. We might be using alcohol to calm down at the end of the workday, right? So any strategies to help us lower our alcohol intake before bed need to focus on calming, relaxing, and bringing that arousal level down, right? So they're things that will aid sleep, such as meditation, exercise, reading, speaking with a loved one, will help us manage stress, and it won't have the detrimental effects that alcohol does while we're trying to get to sleep. And that kind of leads me into my next point about stress and anxiety, which is definitely something that keeps a lot of people up. It's like pillow rumination, when we lay down and then suddenly we start planning out the next day, reliving that conversation that you had with your colleague at work, and it keeps us awake and alert. So when we begin to realize that our thoughts aren't really happening, right? We're not really having that conversation with our colleague at work, we can begin to interrupt those thoughts and calm our thoughts before bed. So this is where those stress management tools and coping strategies come in that will help us sleep better. And those things go back to the meditation or mindfulness, exercise, having a healthy diet, and having good relationships and speaking with loved ones will aid us sleeping. So Hayden, have you used any things like meditation or exercise or reading to promote sleep for yourself?
Exercise, definitely. If I have a few days off, then I get my body just doesn't really function.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I don't get the good chemicals, so I'm wide awake yet wired, but can't but fatigued.
Yeah.
So that's a big one for me. So, but apart from that, I just diet. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ben, what about yourself? How have you found using any exercise or meditation or things like that to help you sleep? Oh, sorry. Just unmute yourself there, mate.
Yeah. Definitely exercise, I'd say.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my key, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So moving on then, team. So certain drugs we know, like caffeine, increase the stimulation and wakefulness and alertness. And it's important that they're eliminated or really reduced prior to sleep. Remember that our pre-workout supplements are caffeinated, and having something like that at 6 p.m. is going to definitely affect your sleep. So the effect of caffeine on individuals is highly is very different. Some people are very sensitive to caffeine, where some people aren't. It can take up to 9 hours for the caffeine to reduce by half the strength in our system once we've ingested it. So you can consider that coffee that you had in the morning, if you're someone that's sensitive to caffeine, it will be still having an effect later at night. So what do we do instead of having coffee? In the afternoon. Well, you can use warm drinks or other type of drinks to fulfill that need to be having to drink while you're at work, but also to increase wakefulness and alertness using exercise, getting outside, taking walking telephone calls and meetings will help promote that wakefulness. And you would know that after you've been to the gym, you definitely feel different to when you walked in. And that bit of stimulation is what you can rely on instead of using caffeine in the afternoons. Okay, doing some star jumps or some burpees is definitely going to wake you up. And then lastly, crew, we know that at the end of our day, it's the time that we're trying to cram in to spend time with a partner, to relax, to maybe binge on some TV shows. It's really the time that we get for ourselves and for our loved ones. But sometimes that will come at the cost of sleep. And we know that spending time in front of the TV or using devices really impacts on sleep now. So those devices are a barrier to sleep, like our phones, computers, TV screens, and tablets. What happens is they impact directly on sleep latency, so the time it takes us to get to sleep. And they seem to mimic or stimulate a biological drive to hold our attention and promote wakefulness. And this will include those sounds or vibrations that will go off in the middle of the night while you're trying to sleep. They will take you out of restful sleep, and you'll have a poor sleep because of it. Then secondly, increasing our strategies for stress and how we spend time with loved ones will also help reduce our reliance on those devices. Ben, have you used like the do not disturb feature on your phone?
Yeah, absolutely. I have my phone actually now in the kitchen, so I leave it out of the bedroom. And I have my Garmin on, so my watch, and it's synced up to my phone, so I've set that to only start giving me notifications at a certain time when I know I'll be up or stirring, or should be up rather. So that's what I've sort of done.
So most people, I would say, Ben, their phone probably lives next to their pillow or on their bedside table. Why did you take your phone out of your bedroom?
Yeah, because it was vibrating at night and waking me up. Plus, just that whole thing about having electronic stuff next to my bed when I'm trying to get a good night's sleep. I was like, try and take that out.
Yeah. Excellent. So, Crew, so if we can take a moment to reflect on our own habits. So take a moment to think about your bed environment or your sleep environment, and how these might affect you. Are there one or two things that you could alter to improve your sleep quality? And the last question is can you maintain it for the rest of your life? That's the most important thing with any of these behavior changes, is that we can stay on it for the rest of our life. So during a range of nutrition consult, what happens is we go through this process more formally, and we individualize the strategies. If daytime sleepiness is a burden for you, like most Australians, we should focus first on improving the sleep environment, and secondly, employ strategies that decrease stress and decrease arousal, so to facilitate a better night's sleep. So, Hayden, is there some things that you could take from that, mate?
Yeah, I've got a dirty coffee habit. So, and pre-workout. So I know that's like a problem. And then the bed at the moment's a bit creaky. So like at night, like if I like roll over, it creaks and it wakes me up. So I know I need to fix that.
Yeah, it almost reminds you every time you move, right?
Yeah. Apart from that, I guess I'm in the office all day, so I get a lot of screen time. So I've got to find a way to get less.
Yes. And what about yourself, Ben? Any points from there that you feel apply to you?
Yeah, definitely the environment. So my room, it's got like a window that doesn't have a curtain on. It's like one of those small windows up the top of the bedroom.
Yeah.
And the light from outside shines in on it, like the street light.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think I could wear like something over my eyes to sort of make it nice and dark. And
that's right. And I mean, these are cheap. Some of them are a bit nasty though. But you can find something that feels okay. You can kind of ignore once you start sleeping. It does begin to, even if it's a couple of nights, it really improves your sleep quality for those nights and enough to make a change for the rest of the week. Well, thank you, crew. That is all for me. I appreciate you joining me. How many, Ben, do you work with range of motion nutrition?
No.
And what about yourself, Hayden?
Classic 2020 thing. Are you speaking on mute? Same with, can you see my screen? No, I'm not. No, I'm not with range of motion nutrition.
So, well, guys, so we will have these over the next few weeks, and hopefully there's things here that you can take away and apply to yourself then. Great.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, crew.
Thanks,
I will
mate.
see you around.
Thanks, man. See you around.
Cheers.
Thanks, James.
Cheers, Ash.
Yeah.